It's Wednesday. This weekend is a holiday in the U.S., so thought I'd try going live tonight and seeing how that goes, seeing if anybody joins me on a Wednesday. I see somebody join me on a Wednesday. 2 people. Woohoo! Hi, guys. Like I was saying, it's a holiday this weekend in the U.S. on Sunday, so just wanted to come live with you guys and see what's up. And if there were any questions, if anybody wanted to chat, I'm here. This doesn't necessarily mean I won't be going live Sunday, but that is the 4th of July, so I'm not sure what we're doing. Hello, Nicole and Sylvia. Yeah, not sure what I'll be doing on Sunday. I might be live, I might not be. So just wanted to come on here. Hi, Levon. And say hi to you guys and see if we had any questions on this Wednesday evening before I get to later. We'll end the live and I'll start writing tomorrow's chapter. I wrote a couple shorts today that I'm really excited about. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Faithlyn. What's up? But yeah, just thought we'd try this time out and see what's up with everybody. Hi, Jacina. Yes, there is no update tonight because it is Wednesday. So I edited a chapter in Haley's book. And hi, Andrea. And yeah, I edited a chapter in her book and I wrote some shorts. So gonna start on the chapter after this. So got a lot about to go down, guys. These books always really like kick off once Eric and Haley meet. So I will, okay. So I've been toying with what other reality Haley's gonna jump into in this book. And I was planning on it being one of the ones in the poll that I posted here because it was like, that would be fun for you guys to see. And then my brain was like, no, whole new reality. So ended up writing an outline for the whole new reality that this Haley is eventually going to, Raise to Cura Haley is going to jump in. Hi, Allie. Jacinta, glad you love the short. I do have it on my personal list of Teak and Sophia meeting. If somebody requests it, I'll move it off my personal list. That's a conversation I have to have with those people in that tier. Like, it's on my personal list, but if you want me to move it to the fan request list, it's obviously going to get done faster because I got a lot of fan requests. Hi, Allison. And so just working through those. I have a very long personal list, but like the fan requests, I love those shorts. So that we'll see when we get to that scene. If somebody requests it, I would let them know it's on my personal list. I just don't know when it's going to get done. If they decide they want it to jump up to the fan request list, because that's the list I work through, then we'll see it sooner. But yeah, so there's your guys' little tidbit for the night is we were going to jump into a reality that you had voted on and seen the idea or thought process of. And my brain came up with a whole new reality to jump into. So I'm not going to lie, it's a pretty cute reality. I really like it. So very excited about that outline and to bring the beginning of that story into Raise to Cura. Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to chat about? Any questions? Let's see. Coming up in a short, I wrote it today. It's not tomorrow's, but I wrote it today. It's about Titus and Alania meeting. It's a fun thing to write. Since Arian cannot enter the ribbon, how can he warn other reality selves about himself? Through his Haley. So like we saw, this Haley came to this reality. Any Haley who is twice light bound can come to their reality. So he's just planning on like if he sees another Ribbon Haley, like writing himself a note and sending it back with her, telling himself to shape up. So he can't go into the other realities, but he can send like stuff back with her. So, you know, that's how that's going to work for him. And his Haley will warn other Arians. He can give her something to take in too. So, yeah, that's how that works. So, it would be fun if he could go into the ribbon and kick his own ass, but he can't. So, on the short for Raphael, the end made it seem like he was just meeting Lexi. However, Lexi seemed upset. Okay. Lexi seemed upset that he had known Haley had gotten married because they already knew each other before that. No, they didn't know each other before that. She was upset because they spent a lot of time together. There was a lot going on in Haley's book and even Emmeline's book before Lexi comes back into play. They spent months together. And she told him about her friends. Like, he knew that Haley was her friend. That's why she's mad. Because, like, they were both on a mission and they bonded over that. And they spent months together. And so he knew that Haley was her friend and he didn't mention it. That's why she was mad. So they had just met when he goes to London for his next assignment. So she's upset because like they bonded, they talked, and he didn't say anything. Let's see. Oh, do we ever see Roth meet his wing? You know, I've said we've met her. It'd be weird if we didn't see that, if we didn't see him meet. So, you know, she's around. She is around. I haven't seen guesses for who his wing is. So I haven't seen anybody get it wrong, but I haven't seen anybody get it right because I have literally not seen any guess about who it is. But we have met her, so we'll see that happen. I was toying actually with the end of Lexi's like epilogue. I was toying with that coming out, but chose to kind of give a little bit of insight into the rings instead, and that they really they want Haley back in it. So that's why her epilogue was where it was. Is Alania involved in the ring directly? Well, I mean, that would depend on your definition of directly. That would depend on, because as we see Alania's own definition of stuff, she doesn't really do anything. She whispers into people's ears. So that would really depend on your definition. We haven't seen her involved in any of the ring stuff. And it would also depend on which reality you're talking about. So different things lead to different stuff in all the realities. In the last chapter, Haley tells Ribbon Haley about the situation being bad with Cassandra. What happened this time? I really want to know. You mean with our original Haley? I mean, they're still going through all the stuff. Like, Cassandra's still in Montana. She hasn't come. Like, they keep leaving and coming back. We get into some of that with EJ's book, the current one. Okay. Oh, that's for the Alania question. Okay, hold on. Gonna circle back to that. So the Cassandra situation, we're going to dive into some of that in the triplets book. And a lot of it really gets interesting with the triplets. And Haley kind of reaches her like line in the sand, like you because I mean, a lot of people would probably think that she's reached it now, but she really hasn't. Like, she's still cordial, she's still nice, but we're gonna see a little bit of that like snap for her when we come back to the triplets books. Hi, Sherry Lee. You're not in trouble, so I'll just say Sherry. Sorry, I don't know why I said Sherry Lee, but hi. Okay, the current Alania, is she involved in the ring? That's not something we know, and that's something that we'll have to see what's going on. That's just something we don't know yet. It certainly seems like it could be a possibility, but at the same time, to her, she whispers in people's ears. I will say that I have foreshadowed where this book is going heavily in a couple chapters. And I haven't seen anyone really pick up on that. To me, I'm like, I know like where the book's going. So I'm like, oh, this foreshadowing thing, but it's really subtle. So that's the deal with that. We will find out what's up with Alania in this reality, whether she's involved, whether she's just whispering, whether she's just, annoying and the worst mother in the world. So we'll see that one. And the current one for Sylvia too. Yeah, we're going to get more into what's going on when we get back into EJ's book and how the triplets feel about everything, because it's been mentioned several times, you can't hide your motivation from a fairy. Like, they know what your motivations are. And her children are part fairy. So, I mean, and with the connection Alexander has to his mom, and I mean, all of Haley's children love her, and they understand what she is, and they kind of they don't have the same like innocent. Some of them do have that innocent little fairy thing that we've seen Phelan and Haley have, even though Haley really shouldn't. But our Haley does have that. She's got that innocence to her. And some of her children have that, but a lot of them they've got their dad in them, and they kind of see a lot of things that she doesn't necessarily see. So that gets interesting. I have a note on my phone with a list of questions for your live. Yay. Bring it on, Amanda. Let's go. But yeah, it gets really interesting with the triplets and how all that happens and what happens in their lives. But yeah, oh gosh, guys, it's going to get so crazy when we get back into our original reality in the triplets books. My brain is not ready. My outlines are ready. I feel like our lives are going to get crazy when we get back into the triplets books. Because then I'm going to have to do hula hooping at a certain point to avoid talking about Cassie's mate and EJ's book. The brain. We're going to make it work. It's going to be hard, but we're going to do it. Can all the Hakura not get drunk, or is it just Haley? So it's Haley and her, it's kind of like her genetic makeup. So fairies can get drunk, but the Hakura they can. It's harder for them. So with her genetic makeup, it just can't happen, which is probably really, she can get tipsy. She still has fun. The Hakura can get drunk. They only get drunk in their realm, though, where they know that they're safe. So thank you, Lavon, for the faith in me for all of my hula hooping that I'm going to be doing. How old is Bjorn? Oh, everybody wants to know how old he is. He is 38 years old. So that is how old Bjorn is. But like, they live for a really long time. So he's still really young. We are going to see him be coronated as the king in EJ's book. So I was going to have it in Alexander's book, but there's far too much going on in that book, you guys. So to EJ's book it goes. Are Dylan and Lacey always mates? Yes, to me, like I said, the mates that I talk about and that I really enjoy, they get cemented in my head as people who can be with other people. Lacey is perfect for Dylan, so I can't imagine Dylan with anybody else. So that's where that is. How do you keep coming up with names for your characters? I have to give names to a lot of animals all the time and I run out of ideas. Sometimes I sit there and think about it for a really long time. Sometimes sometimes I will ask my husband, like, hey, I need a name off the top of your head. It starts with a J, go. And sometimes, like, I'll just have a dream about the characters and they tell me their name. So that's kind of cheating. But Google comes up with names. I sometimes, well, the fairies' names I just make up. I'm like, this seems like a cool, fun fairy name. I want Tabitha on the main reality. Haley did say she was going to find her. She likes her. And we know Tabitha doesn't like the pack she's in, so watch out for Tabitha. Are we going to see who the quads are mated with in the triplets books? Well, we'll find out. How many kids do Jordan and Astrid have right now? Or like they end up with 12 kids. So with your posting schedule, it looks like your book should take around 4 months to be completely done. Is that the same time frame for this one? For Raise Sakura? I don't know. We'll have to see where the story goes. I'm not sure if this length might be somewhere around Emmeline's. I'm not sure. I don't really want to put like a chapter limit on it because I'm just going to write through my outline until like this reality story is this reality of Haley and Eric's story is told. So and I can already guess Alexander's book is going to take longer than that, just based on all the outline points and all the crap that goes down in that book. It's fun. It's fun stuff, guys. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But I don't know how long this book is going to end up being. But I know where it's going and where it's going to end. And I don't really know. We've still got some stuff to get through. So can Lucinda get wings or only blood relatives of the promised siblings? Lucinda cannot get wings. Her children could. Hi, Cheyenne. Okay, I don't think I missed a question yet. So keep coming, Amanda. Keep coming with your questions. I see them. Will Tabitha being found wreak havoc on the main reality? No. Tabitha is not going to wreak havoc in the main reality. In that reality, Harold is Jessica's mate. So they're mated. She's marked. There's no connection between him and Tabitha. So it's not going to wreak havoc on anybody for her to be found and be friends with Haley. Sorry, guys. My husband is telling me he's going to be in a drive-through. I'm like, cool. I'm talking about peeps. It doesn't matter. Phone. Work with me. Let's see. Wolves have heats and fairies have their things. So do other supernaturals have times they can only get pregnant? Well, we've seen witches are like humans, so they can get pregnant at any time. We'll have to see with the other groups that we introduce. What happens with that? So, do you have all the books outlined already? Yes. I have so many outlines. Some of them are just a couple bullet points. The closer I get to a book, and sometimes like just throughout, I'll get an outline point for a book and add it to the outline. But yes, I do have at least rough estimates of outlines for most, if not all of them. When is EJ's book being released? I'm hanging for it. So we're going to go to EJ after we finish Raised to Cura. So he is next. How many days are there in a year in the Hakura realm? Double R's. So that. Okay. Can vampire women not have children after they turn? They cannot, because they're like frozen in time. Have you thought of doing a book on Aiden? I have had that thought, just because I've been writing all his outtakes, and I think his take is so interesting, because obviously we could do him meeting Lucinda, and it's in tomorrow's outtake you'll see a little bit about how that went for him. He kind of gives a little bit of insight into that. So I'm not going to give that away, what he says. But he is a very interesting character to me, because he's a good guy. And he truly hated standing by and watching Haley be hurt, but he thought it was for the good of his people, and that's why he did it. But he hated it. And he and Lucinda had a lot of conversations about it. She would go check on Haley for him when he was traveling. Even Bexley, he asked Bexley to look in on her while he was going around trying to solve the unrest of his father's death. And then there's the fact that they didn't really let him grieve his dad. He was just the prince, and he was trying to quell all the rebellions so that he didn't have to watch his family die. So I have thought about it. I don't have it written, but it is a thought in my head. Will we ever see more than one Haley come to a reality? So there's 3 Haleys. Oh, we will have to see. We will have to see. So how can Susanna get pregnant by Robert? Because she's not a vampire. So that's how. What is the age difference in the main timelines between Haley and all her? What is the age difference between the main timeline between Haley and all her brothers? So we know Logan is a few years older than her, and Bjorn's the oldest at 38. So they all just go down from there. Marcus and Bjorn Marcus is the same age as Eric. So I'll go through there. I really love Arian in this book, and I was heartbroken for Haley, but happy that she got some closure. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I posted that gif of being a glass case of emotions. It was a lot for Haley to go through, but I really felt like Haley deserved to see this Arian and go back and tell Aiden himself about this Arian, because you truly see how far off the path people got Arian, because this is how he was truly supposed to be in this book. This is who he is. This is what he's supposed to be like with his siblings. So I love this reality for that reason. Are all the Hakura women as accepting of their mates' other children as Veronica is? Yes, it's how they were raised. It's natural to them. And it's natural to them. It's normal to them. And they agree. When you go on an off period, it's a chance that your mate is going to come back and say, hey, I'm having a kid with so-and-so. So if they agree to go on an off period, they know that that's coming. So if vampire men are still fertile, are their biological children just human, or how would the vampire have worked? So they are still, it's still a vampire. The reason, in my head, I can't, logic the women being able to carry children, because they are kind of frozen in that time. So for a vampire female to get pregnant and carry a child, I just in my own brain can't see how that would work out, because they would have to evolve and change, and they can't do that anymore because they're frozen. So it might not make sense, but that's just how it works in my head. Do the Hakura women hook up with others too? They hook up with other women. Yeah, that's talked about many times. They all have. So for them, they don't want, once they find their mate, they don't want anyone to question whose kids they're having, so they enjoy women on their off periods. Now, obviously, Miley is full Hakura, and she's not Zader's mate. So Zader had Miley with a Hakura woman who hadn't found her mate yet. And that is common. That happens in the Hakura all the time. So if they haven't met their mate, they can have a kid with somebody else if they want to. But that's Miley's, a little bit about Miley's backstory. But yes, they do hook up with other people on their off periods. So. Are the Hakura men accepting too? Yeah, they are. They are. It's just their culture. It's just the way they were raised. Like if they agree to be on an off period, they know that their mate's going to be with somebody else. So it doesn't bother them. And all of them have different types of that. Like we see Harper, Kalista, and Gunnar. They have their own little thing going on. And on their off periods, they always end up back with each other anyway. So, I mean, it's really a conversation of what they're comfortable with. And it's normal to them. So they don't really get upset about it. Now, if somebody was cheated on while they're on an on period, then they're going to go full Hakura and kill people. Since there are so many realities, does that mean that the Beyond contains more than one reality person, such as all the Fabians that died? Or would there only... So, no, there's a Beyond per reality, basically. So Fabian's not like joining up with like 15 of himself. He's just in the Beyond for his reality. Is there a reason the Hakura wait to marry for a decade? So, and a decade to them is like running down the aisle. Like Bjorn and Astrid have been together since they were 16. She's a little younger than him, by a few months. So to them, it's just like they're with each other. They're marked. They're having kids. Like they're together. That's it for them. Like to them, marriage is a piece of paper and it's not really super important to them. Like they just weren't raised with that to be important. So it's just not that big of a deal to them. And the other part of that is they're in their own realm. Like they go out on missions and stuff and they come back, but they always come back. So to them, they're not around other supernaturals. So they're around people who respect their ways and who respect like the relationship they have. So to them, it's not that big of a deal because everybody respects what they have going on. They're not around other supernaturals who are like, hey, she's cute, I'm going to hit on her. Don't care that she's your mate. So they just have a different perspective. So how does the Hakura realm not have an overpopulation? Well, because they can make the realm bigger if they want, like Haley's dad gives his kid islands. But think of their realm like the country that we live in. Like there's all different places. Like it's not just, they're not all in the same place. They all live in like different parts of it. There's like, obviously the main part is where we have been in most of it, but Veronica's from a different part, and that's why her and Titus didn't meet until they were a little older, because she is a lord's daughter, but the lord didn't live in the same area. So it's just it's kind of like in my head the country of where we are. So we have other countries and they're all over the place. Like some people are from Europe, some people are from Australia, some people are from Canada, some people are from Mexico, some people from the US. So we've got all the places, she's got Asia, all the other places. So they're not all in the same place. Has Titus had any other off-period children besides with Alania, or is him? So we see a little of that here coming up in a short. But he's rarely on an off period with Veronica because they're together a lot now. And they were on a rare off period for them. But no, Haley is his only child without Veronica, because Bjorn mentions this a little bit, that they have rules for the royal family. So the royal family can't have a child with someone who's not another part supernatural. So that's just their rule that they have. So do Do any of the Hikura that are mated to wolves, would they ever go on an off period, and would Katie ever agree? So the Hikura mated to wolves. Like I said, their relationships are based on respect, and to the wolves, that is disrespectful. So no, they wouldn't, because it's a conversation about respect and trust and that type of relationship. So no, they're not going to do that, because to the wolves, that would be completely and utterly disrespectful. And Katie, no, Katie's not going to agree. She's from the human realm. She is not down with it. She's not cool with it. She's not going to agree. Do any other species have birth certificate in the human realm besides fairies? Yes, they all do. So they all have other identities. They might, like the Hikura, they have multiple identities in the human world, so they have different ones each time they come, but not one that's like specific to them like the fairies do. Does original Haley go back and save Xander? Yes. So we just didn't know that had happened in Lexi's epilogue, but he's fine by Lexi's epilogue. So yeah, Emmeline and Haley fix Xander in their realm. Wouldn't it also cause the wolf pain if their mate was with somebody else? Yes, that is. It would, and that's another reason that they wouldn't do it. So it would cause them pain if their mate was with somebody else, because they're fully marked. The child that Logan has in this reality, is he the son he had from... No, so the other son that's mentioned is Katie and Logan's son. So they've been together since Haley was 5. So they already have a kid, and they're on kid number 2. So Logan doesn't have that other child in this reality, because Katie's not cool with an off period. So it's their kid. Okay. Has Eric talked to Arthur about faking death and things they need to deal with extended lives? They're going to. He's not too worried about it right now, because it's fine that they're not aging or whatever. But they are going to talk about it. They have to. Because, well, now they're all going to be around, and they need new identities to other people. So, Amanda's list is done. Oh no. Think of more questions. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the questions. Yeah, I think I'm caught up on the questions. If I didn't answer your question, ask it again. Okay. Are you going to give us a peek on your new reality? The one that I came up with for this book. A peek. Okay. Guys, such a hard question for me, because I'm so excited about it. Let's see. A peek. How to peek. This reality that she's going to enter, she is... How many grandkids does Titus have? A buttload. That's how many he has. He has so many grandkids. Titus has a lot of grandkids. I have to sit down and count them all. There's a lot of them. And it's really indeterminate, because they're all going to live a long time, so they could be done having kids for a while, and their kids could grow up and they could have more. So a lot. He has a lot of grandkids. In this reality, the one that she's going to jump to, she's 3 years old. In the reality she jumps to, and Eric is 16. So that's what I will say about the new reality. Are we going to have more than one ribbon strand book? Oh my gosh, I have so many. There are so many. so many. And then, like I said, I actually have outlines for Lexi's story and Emmeline's story within this reality, so we might visit it again. I don't know. I haven't decided. Hi, Salika. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Since Logan met Katie when he was 10, did she have to kill a boar, or did they wait? And so they had their mating ceremony when they were both 16. That's when the Hikura have the mating ceremony. They didn't have it when they were 10. But yes, she did go kill Bor when she was 16. Almost all boys, right? Yes, other than the 2 girls that Haley has. Those are all Titus's grandchildren are all boys, besides the 2 girls Haley has. With all the Connors kids continue to live together, like EJ and Saeed's generation, the ones that don't move away with their mates. Yes, they do. They're a little unique in that some of them favor different sides of themselves, but they pop in and out all the time. They're they can be one place 1 second and another. So they pop in and out. Are they all going to live at the Connors place? No, they're not. And we'll see why. So some of them live there part-time. Some of them just pop in and out. But they don't ever leave each other's lives because they don't have to, because they can just pop in and out. Is the Hakura have the lifespan of fairy long, or it's a little shorter? They don't live quite as long. They're going to because of Haley, but normally it's a little shorter. They live for like 300 years, whereas a fairy could live forever. So not forever, just a fairy could still be considered young at 200 because they can live to like 500 to 700 years old. So the next book is Haley gonna go full do-it-yourself with expanding their house. She doesn't have to. Eric has a really big house, guys. So she wasn't kidding. She said he had a big house and she wanted to fill it up. So she could. In Alexander's book, he actually adds something to their gym himself. I can't tell you what it is, but he does a do-it-yourself conjuring thing for his mate. So, okay, I feel like my phone told me that somebody said something, but then I don't see it. But yeah, Titus, oh gosh, his grandkids. He has so many grandkids. So many. In the main reality, do the Connors have a Hawaii house too? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And we will get to see pictures of it. I have the house that they're going to here next. I think we'll get to it in the next chapter. Eric's got a lot going on the side while Haley was in this chapter, so we'll see. I think we're going to get to it, though. Since they're going to live so long, will that change the timeline for Alexander taking over as Alpha? Yes, it does. Kind of. So EJ is, gosh, how to answer this question. They do an interesting version of it. Alexander is still an alpha. He's kind of more of the enforcer of their pack. That's more where he likes to be, but he still runs everything with EJ. But EJ wants to follow in his dad's footsteps. So we'll see in his book like where that leads and where that goes. They do kind of a mix of it where Eric is still around and helping the kids in the capacity that they want, and they kind of just do their own thing because they just go to the beat of their own drum because they can. Who's going to stop them? But yes, a lot of the packs change how they take things over, so they wait a little longer. We'll see what the Connors end up doing before they fully take over. Yeah, it's probably going to be, it'll be a little bit longer, but they do take over. Do the kids end up taking over any more packs? We shall see what happens, because we know that things are going down, guys. And not great things are going down with other packs. So they're kind of realizing that there are alphas involved in this, and it is it's widespread throughout the supernatural group. Something is actually coming up that it's going to be mentioned in EJ's book, but it plays a huge part in Alexander's book. It's something that they believe that this thing, they're like, this has to be part of the ring, but every time they try to prove it, they can't It all appears above board, but what fun would that be if it was? Is Emmeline always with Lucas in all realities? Yes. Yes, she is. Does Haley ever see her grandparents in a different reality? Yes. Yes, she does. Yes, in a couple. So. You mean our original Haley, right? Like, is she going to go to a reality where she sees her grandparents? She will. Do you have plans for any of the Connors kids being mated far away from the Connor territory? I mean, that depends on your definition of far. They can pop wherever they want. So, I mean, is anything really far to a fairy? They're far. It's a hard term because they're fairies. They pop wherever they want. So, is anything really far? I don't really think it is when you can teleport places. I don't know how to answer that question. Let me know if that answered your question. Hello, I know we just started Raised Secure time frame wise. When will EJ's book start? EJ's book is next. I do not know when this journey is going to wrap up. Whether it is quicker than our other books, whether it is the same time, I don't know. I will let you guys know on Patreon first. Obviously, you get the sneak peeks, and you guys tend to ask more often like where we're at in the book. So as we get closer to the end, I will let you know that his book is coming up. What I will probably do next time, since I keep having so many problems with Dream not posting my stories, I might post there probably the night before I'm ready to post chapters for his book, like the picture of the book, so that when I tell you guys on Facebook, like, hey, here's the book, you can find it. I don't know. That's really all I have left to try, I guess. But I don't know if that's going to cause panic, and people are like, where are the chapters? I can't see them, because some people get notifications when I post them. I don't know. I haven't decided. It's going to be a whole thing. We'll figure it out. It did answer Danielle's question. Cool. Could you list Haley's brothers in order? Hold on. Let me pull up my notes. I can list them in order. I can do that. That's okay. The order of the Hakura brothers goes Bjorn, Marcus, Drake, Evan, Histek, Ubi, Benjamin, Harper, and then Logan. That is the order of their birth. This is so much fun. It is, Allison. It is so much fun. Okay, let's see. Other side of the questions. Are the Ducans still an issue in Raised Secure reality? We will see. We know that they were watching them. The Connors pack was watching them and Alpha Hammond's dad. So we shall see. Have we met Cassie's mate? Met is such a strong word. Have we heard their name? Yes. Have we met them? I mean, again, depends on your definition. So we've heard their name. I will confirm that for you. We have heard Cassie's mate's name. Are Titus and Veronica done having kids? Yeah, Veronica is done having kids. She doesn't have kids like a fairy. And she's like, I popped out 9 of them. I'm out. And now they have all these grandkids that they're loving on. So I'm so evasive, I have to be. You guys ask such good questions. And I'm like, can't answer that. Will we see Sophia more in Raised Secure? She's around. Obviously, like Lexi had just said, that she's going to be crowned alpha here soon, so we will be there for that. And somebody else might be there for that, and it might get real interesting for Sophia. So, because we know that Emmeline and our Fearsome Foursome know about Teak now, so they got to find Teak. Eric and Haley have a large age gap. Is their age gap large for mates? Most seem closer in age. I mean, not really when you think about like Robert and Susanna. When people talk about my age gaps with Emmeline and Lucas and Haley and Eric, I'm like, do people not like vampire age gaps? Because you got like century-old men with teenagers. So to me, it's fantasy. They're not like, it's to them. It's not weird because they're supernaturals. Like obviously they're not. It's not a human relationship. But I got a lot of hate in Emmeline and Lucas's book for their age gap, even after it came out how old she actually was. So I don't know if I will do another large age gap like that, but we'll see. Vampires do talk about how long it takes to find their mate because they're around for a very long time. So their goddess is like, it might take a while. For werewolves, it is odd for them not to find their mate for that long. But like fairies have talked about, like even one of Haley's cousins looked for 50 plus years. So it's not strange to the other supernatural groups. And Eric was mated with a fairy. So. Will original Haley find and bring Tabitha back to their pack? We know that she doesn't like her original pack, and we know that our Haley said she was going to go look for her, and our Haley tends to do what she says. Will we see or hear more about Oscar and Jenna, or even find out more about Exis and Fiegel? So Exis, we've seen a little bit of him in this book. He's doing something right now. We'll see if he comes back. Fiegel, not sure if he's going to come around in this book or not. Oscar and Jenna, they will meet here in a little bit, so we'll see them. I like them. They're fun. Thanks for all the answers. Going to go to sleep. Good night, Sylvia. Oh my gosh, her alarm's going to go off in 2 hours. I'm so sorry. Does Haley have a career in Raised to Cure like she wanted to be a psychologist in the main reality? So it's not as important to her in this reality because she's still 17. She does, we'll see kind of a bit of her aspirations and what she wants to do. But she's kind of taken on more of the princess role. But yeah, she does like do stuff. She doesn't like to be bored. She gets bored, so she starts doing things. So we'll see what she does in this reality. Okay. I think I've caught up to the questions. Woohoo! But yeah, the age gap, it's not weird for most of the other supernaturals. Like demons can take a while to find their mate. Vampires can take a while to find their mate. The Hakura tend to find them relatively close because they can travel around, they can open a portal, they can travel if they want to find their mate within their realm, if their mate is in their realm. So they don't tend to find them too late. Titus and Veronica were a little older when they found each other. But I mean, they're not really in a rush in their realm to do stuff like that. Werewolves, for them, yeah, they find most of them find their mate when they're younger. So for them, they're kind of the exception to the groups. Will we see Liam have a boar hunt? I don't know. I don't know if we'll actually see it implemented in the pack. It's a possible outline point. We'll have to see if it develops naturally into the story. So, yeah, we'll have to see. So, because, guys, I don't know if you've noticed this about Bexley, but she's not really into hunting or things like that. So, I think if we see it, it might be Riley going and hunting the boar. So, we'll have to see. I'll have to get to know Riley a little bit better and see if we see that go down. It might be funny just because there is a Dylan point to that part of the outline, so we'll have to see. I love that you do live chats with us. Love your book so much. Thank you. I love doing live chats with you, and I like writing the books. I have no chill. By chance, are you planning to write more of the Beyond, like Alania and Fenelton? Do you mean in shorts? Do you mean in the books? I have it on my personal short list of their reunion, which may or may not be when people think it was. Do we really know she's dead? Do we know that she's dead? I don't think that we do. I think that we think Haley does. Haley thinks she's dead. Does anybody else? I don't know. We'll find out. Is she dead? Is she not dead? I don't know. So, Yeah, we'll find out that here in a little. Yeah, the suspense. We don't really know what's up with her. Like the group as a whole. It was foreshadowed a little bit. You guys obviously know, if you read that short, that Aiden said she couldn't leave her room unless someone was taking her to torture and kill her. So he kind of knows what's up. He knows what's up. He knows what's going on. And it has been stated in the shorts. I think it's the shorts. I don't think the group as a whole has really any idea that they might now, because when our Haley visited this reality, when she said her mother was dead, Arian, Aiden, and Haley all kind of gave each other a look. And if anybody noticed, Eric kind of like twitched a little bit at that. And so, that may or may not be something that they talk about in Eric's next chapter. Like, what was that look that you all had? So, there might be a hint coming out about that. Answers will come in EJ's book. Is she being tortured? We'll find out. Who else had kids from Fabian's experiment and raised Sakura that we know about? I mean, there were kids all over Foray. There were people from all the territories. Arian, Massium, Hexus, and Aiden are the big ones. So, not that Hexus will know, because Bjorn killed him. So, I know this is a possible double-edged sword, but will we possibly get a good demon character in any of the books? I mean, we have one. Thomas is mated to a demon character in the books. And she's fun. I like her. But we do have some problems coming up with them, but they're not all bad. I don't think there's any all bad of one group. I mean, there's always going to be bad eggs in a group, but that's true of every group. So there are good and bad in all the groups. We just might see a lot of bad in this one. Gosh, we do have a lot of stuff coming up in this outline. A lot of things are about to start happening very quickly. I can't remember what happened to Massium in this reality. We don't know. We haven't heard about him. We know he's around because Aiden said if he knew about this orphanage, he was going to kick his ass. Are Blade and Syrian always mates? Yes. Yes, they are. I love them. But Massium, we haven't heard about him other than, like, mentioned in passing. So we don't know what he's up to yet. What's the deal with the trolls? What about them? Do you mean the goblins? Or do you mean the troll, Noah? Is that what we're asking about? Are we asking about Noah? Do we see more of Syrian and Ray's Sakura? Yeah, we will, because he'll come hang out with Blade and Haley. Yeah, that you meant Noah. Noah is dead in this reality. When Alexi's family got together and realized that Hansen was part of the ring, so they went to go kill him. And when Betty/Denise got the news, she went to their cabin at the lake and drowned both her and Noah. So the troll is dead. How do goblins have children the way that other people do? The traditional way that happens. Wouldn't Massium be on the list that Haley gave to Bjorn? No. Haley did not put Massium on the list because she saw that he had the capacity to be a good person in our reality. So he's not on the list because he hadn't done it in their reality. So she saw that he had some capacity for good. So she did not put him on Bjorn's list. Are any Hakura part of the ring? No. They are the exception. It's part of their genetic makeup that would go against their own DNA because they are the protectors of the realm, and that's not protecting the realm. And they also, like people who are deviant, they kill them. So that's what the Hakura God meant, is like he polices his own kids. basically is what he's saying, and the other goddesses are not doing that. And he's telling them it's going to bite him in the ass. Wouldn't masking... Okay, I already answered that. What do goblins look like? Like in my head, they are like waist-high green. No, so goblins to me are kind of... you can tell who they are. They've kind of got a bigger nose, and they have like weird shaped ears. But other than that, they could pass as humans. So they've just got like bigger noses, and they could cover their ears, but by magic and stuff. But they can come to the human realm and pass off as humans. Does Emmeline's dad ever think of rejecting his mate, Emmeline's mom, to get with his second chance mate? So more like elves in Lord of the Rings. Yes, Amanda. More like that. No, he doesn't. To fairies, it's really not like they don't. A lot of them, Aiden does and Arian does, because their dad and the fire fairies kind of put more emphasis on their mates. They're the most in tune with their feelings. But the rest of Foray, they're kind of like, you're my mate. Like, it is cool. I'm still gonna go over there because she's pretty. So, rejection isn't really on his mind of things to do. He doesn't really care if she's a bad person or not. In this reality, she's not that bad of a person because Dave is dead. So he still didn't let her raise Emmeline, but he likes the ribbon. He followed everything our Haley told him to do. Will Haley get her wings and raise Sakura? We will see. They've talked about what has to happen for her to get that, and we've seen what caused her to get it in our reality, and she has said she doesn't want to do that. But we'll see what happens. Can you tell us what other supernatural groups are going to pop up? No. No, I can't tell you that. Fun would that be? What's going on with Trixie in Raise Sakura? We've talked about her a little bit. She's training with Haley, so she's stronger than the other partial fairies because she's training with Haley, and has a few times. Same with Oscar and Oscar's sibling. So they are training with Haley, and it's mentioned that she and Farron are mates too in this reality. So that's what's going on with her. She, I believe it was referenced that she's now living in Foray, and Aiden's really excited about that. Her mom just died, and then Aiden came into the picture, and so she is excited to live in Foray, and he's excited to have her there. So she's with Farron, and it's mentioned that, that's mentioned when somebody says they're tricking a partial fairy, because Haley says that, they wouldn't do it to Trixie because she's going to be with Farron, and Farron is formidable. And then that would be coming against Aiden, and I think that's what's going on with her. Is Alani bitter about Trixie? She doesn't know. She doesn't know about Trixie. But she wouldn't be, even if she knew. Like I said, there's going to be a reality where Finlayson defeats Fabian and doesn't die, and she still wants to have Haley. So she tells him, and he tells her to, like, go be with Titus, because they're fairies, and it's okay with them. Like, it's not... She's not going to go have some love affair. He wasn't in some love affair with Trixie's mom. So they just see things differently. But no, she wouldn't care about Trixie, but she doesn't know about her, and Aiden and Arian aren't going to tell her. They don't like her in this reality. So in OG, Aiden mentioned the partial fairies feeling their wings coming in to call on him, but he didn't make it seem like they would need a traumatic event. So they would need a traumatic event. It's not as triggering as Haley's now that she triggered her wings. For her and Emmeline, it's a bit more emotional because they are more emotional. But since Haley got her wings, it's not as traumatic for the other partial fairies. It would be for Emmeline, because she's more emotional than all the other fairies. They're the two most emotional fairies. So it's harder for them. Gotta love it. Nothing can be easy for them. Why don't we see any of Dustin and Ryan around Emlyn? They are around, but they do live in California, so keep that in mind. Like, Mercutius allowed them to come to Foray sometimes to see Emlyn. Emlyn would go home. Logan can portal to Katie anytime he wants, but they still live in California as of this moment. So, and Haley doesn't really interact with them. So, are we going to see Emlyn get her wings? We'll have to find out. What are Idell and Beta James? Where are they? Beta James is with his Alpha, who's Alpha Theo, and Idell is hanging out. So we'll have to see what goes on with that. But like I said, everybody's coming to Alpha Sophia's coronation. So, coronation. She's becoming the Alpha. I don't know what else to call it. Alpha becoming ceremony. I don't know. Are Dustin and Aubrey Maidson raised to Kira? Yes, they are. Are Valerie and Ryan together? Ryan lives in California and Valerie lives in Blue Moon. So, not yet. Sounds like another maid stay will be happening. We will see, because that is something that's different. Like I said, the people from the second book are older, but Valerie's not 18 yet in this reality. But we have Emlyn around, so, you know, she tells people she has no chill about mates. She's like, I want to tell everybody. She does get better at that as time goes on in our original reality. And she's pretty good about it now. Like, she doesn't have to tell people she knows that. If people want to know, she tells them. But she gets better at that in our original reality, because she knows a couple people's mates are, but they tell her they don't want to know, so she doesn't tell them. In Emlyn's book, Alpha Theo and Lucas are enemies. What happened between them? We have gone over that in this book, actually. It's mentioned in Lucas's book. He killed his brother. So his brother came into Lucas's territory and took a pack member of his and raped her, and Lucas killed him. So it's mentioned in this book that Alpha Theo's brother was spelled, but they saved him. So, and they talked about like how bad that would be, because that would fracture the alliance between Lucas and Alpha Theo, and possibly cause him to leave the alliance altogether. And that's what the Ring wants. They don't want them in this big alliance that's always talking and sharing information, because that's bad for them. So that's why they're doing it. Forgot that. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. But hold on, I'm gonna drop something. But yeah, I got a lot of things running through my head at any given point in time, because there's a lot going on at all times. Like, things just get crazier and crazier. Welcome to my head, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, all those people are around. I know a lot of that. Idell's not really in Haley's world, so that's kind of like, and Dustin and Ryan, they're not really in Haley's world. That's why I said I have outlines for Emlyn and Lexi in this reality. I don't know when or if those get written. That's why you love my head. I'm glad you like my head. It's a crazy place to be. Especially when I jump into this. But yeah, it's hard to tell all those people that we know stories, because we've heard about them across 3 books, and they interact with different people. So that's why there are other outlines for Emlyn and Lexi's story in this reality. And are Dylan's parents looking into the White Wolf? Yes. They are. So Lacey was just something they stopped their journey for. And it's mentioned in this book, like Dylan's upset. They're like, what's wrong with Dylan? And he's like, oh, my parents are crazy white wolf theorists who, you knew they were going to do it, but you wish they didn't. So he was upset that they were getting into that. So yeah, they're still into the white wolf as they were in Emily's book. They're just not going to take a break to look for Lacey because she's at home. So, but yes, they're still off looking in to the white wolf. Are there any other questions? Trying to think of who else we know that we can talk about. There's so much to talk about, but I just can't give away so much of it. I wish you guys knew what I knew. And then we could chat about all the craziness. I honestly think these chats are going to get so crazy when we get back into the triplets books. I just know. So they left them in this reality too. Yes, they did. I think Dylan briefly touches on it. He was prepared. He knew it was coming. It was still disappointing to him though that they did. But yes, they still, in all realities, they're going to be weird about the white wolf. Yeah, so they are going to be weird about the white wolf and get way too into it. It's just part of their makeup, and they bring stuff out that has to be known and has to happen. So but yeah, oh gosh, it's going to get so crazy. Once we get to EJ, oh gosh, we're going to get back into EJ's book. Then we have the short. I'm really not sure how long Cassie's book is going to be, guys. It might be, I don't know. I say that and then I'll probably write the whole book. I don't know. But yeah, we've got, and I feel like people are going to be like, tell Alexander's story while I'm in Cassie's story. But yeah, this guys, it's just about to get so crazy. It's gonna get so crazy. Yeah. Are the gods and goddesses one for realities? They're the same people. So no, they're kind of in charge of all the realities. They know what's going on in the other realities too. So I guess no. I guess they're the same one for all of them. Non-book related, how are you and your family doing? We're doing good. Yeah, we're doing good. Still, my husband is working from home with me. My company isn't back into the office yet, so we're getting to spend a lot of quality time with little man. And yeah, we're doing good. He's crazy running around. I don't know why they call it toddling, because now he's just running. I don't know what phase that is. I have a runner. He's not a toddler. He doesn't toddle. But okay. But yeah, we're gonna have to see what all happens and goes on. Are the triplets books going to jump around in ages? So EJ's book is going to jump around in ages. We're gonna see. Oh gosh. So EJ's book is going to jump around in ages because we're going to see different moments of his and Elise's story combined with another character because we need to see what's going on with a couple people. So they do live in different packs, so we're going to see different packs. We're going to see Ray more. We're going to see all those kids from Red Run. So we'll see them. We're going to see siblings on EJ, Alexander, and Cassie's side. But yeah, we are going to jump around in his book in ages. Alexander's book, is going to jump forward a little bit from where we leave EJ, Alexander, and the group, and Cassie. So we're going to jump forward into his book, and he's going to be that age that we start that book. His book's not going to jump around in age. Heaven knows we can't do that. I kid you not, guys. This outline is so insane. Oh, gosh. But yeah, so we do jump around in age in EJ's book. Cassie's book, I'm not certain, to be perfectly honest, how her book is going to go age-wise. I know where it's going to start. So not really sure. I'm just not sure how long her story is going to be. It might be super short. I really don't know. It might, I don't know. It might turn into a whole thing. I don't know. But I know where it's going to start. Haven't decided if she's going to jump around much because we can't. I guess we could explore that a little bit. The time jump that we're going to do to Alexander's book. So that's an option. We'll just have to see where all that goes. Are the triplets book going to jump around in ages? Will they be two-person point of view? Yes, there are some things that might be someone else's point of view because there are some conversations that happen that we might need to hear that the characters aren't around for, the two main characters. But yeah, they're gonna mirror what we've done in the other books. So in EJ's book, the points of view will be EJ and Elise. In Cassie's book, there'll be Cassie and her mate's point of view. And then in Alexander's book, it's going to be his point of view and his mate's point of view. And oh boy, is there a lot of difference between those two and the things that they know. So there are things that one of them thinks they know. That's not true at all. It might get confusing, guys, because what is reality and what is they think is happening, that's not happening. So it's going to get a little confusing, but it will get resolved. Questions will be answered. It's gonna get crazy. How does the time jump in the ribbon work? So it's, to me, I make it up. Let's be honest. I make it up. I wanted Haley to go into different points of her life. I didn't want her to be the same age every time we saw her. So she jumps around in age. Some of them are behind, some of them are ahead. So yeah, and then like Haley mentioned, our Haley comes back 3 years later, but this reality, the time has moved, and she's 17. So it's different between the realities based on whatever I want it to be. So, executive decisions and all. When people leave the pack that have fairies, when people leave the pack that have fairies in them, do their lifelines go back to their human lifeline? I don't know. Why would they leave the pack? What are we talking about? Are they becoming rogues? Rogues don't have a long life expectancy. But like if they meet their mate and go to a different pack, yes, it would. It would go to whatever's going on in that pack. But if that pack has a fairy, then no. And lots of packs are getting partial fairies. So I think at this point, the allies we know about all have a fairy in their pack. So it wouldn't matter if they were like exchanging with those packs. And there's a lot to that, like mates necessarily leaving. A lot of people want to be a part of the Connors world, and the Daniels and Thomases and even Alfeo and Lucas. They want to be a part of that world. So a lot of people would leave their packs to go join them instead of the other way around. But the partial fairies are also hanging out. So they're around in a bunch of other packs. Will we get to see Haley go to a future Haley? So do you mean one that's older? Because I don't know. We'll have to see. I think I toy with how this epilogue ends. So there's a possibility of this book ending with an older Haley coming and talking to ours. So I'm just not sure which direction I'm going to take epilogue. But yes, there is a possibility of that. Okay. We'll hang out till 9:30 my time. So we got 8 more minutes, guys, and then we're gonna peace out. Did Idell share her light with Beta James? They haven't met in this book. Do you mean in our original reality? So by the time Lexi's book ends, yes, she has. There's actually on my personal list, I have a conversation between Bexley and Idell because we've seen Aiden mention it to Haley, like in the outtake for Valentine's Day, like how happy all the partial fairies are that they've shared their light. And it's just different for full-blooded fairies because they just don't understand why that's their instinct of the partial fairies to share their light. But they see how happy they are and how happy it makes them. And so we kind of see a conversation between Bexley and Idell and on my personal list of them talking about that and what they both think about that. They take a little longer to come around to that because it's so foreign to them. But they're both living in packs and they see how the other partial fairies are so happy, and it's Bexley's cousin, and it's Idell's cousin, and it's even her sisters. So hi, Cheyenne. But yeah, Bexley, it's a Bexley point of view on my personal list of them talking about that and how they feel about it. So is it the same for Bex and Liam? Yes, by the time Lexi's epilogue rolls around, Bexley has shared her light with Liam. Yeah. And that's a really big deal because she doesn't have to. Because Haley is twice light bound Eric, and Liam's going to be around for a long time, so she didn't have to do it. But it's a personal choice for her, and it's something that she talked a lot about, and she talked to Sir Arthur about it, and talked about her mom, and she talked to her dad. We haven't really met her dad, but she talked to a lot of people about it before she decided to do it. I think I'm going to ask for your short as a fan request in July. That's an option. You guys can ask me to pick something off my list. You can ask if you have a character in mind, you're like, do you have any of these on your list, your personal list for a short? And I can give them to you and we could talk about those. But yeah, that's an option. You can say pick a short from your list for your fan request. Fine with that. Will Haley get married before this book is over? We shall see. We know that that's going to be an interesting conversation between the two because Eric wants to marry her as soon as possible, and we're seeing her character as realizing that she does want to get married, but she is not to that realization quite yet. She knows she's happy that he has a ring, but we do see that little. And that's really her fairy side because fairies marry their mates right away. So, her fairy side is excited that he does want to be married because to fairies it's like they get married, but they do what they want. They're fairies, but they do marry their mates when they find them. So it's a little interesting to see that dichotomy within her because it's not how she was raised. It's not what she's been raised around. It's not what she sees. So they're going to have a bit of a time with that. But our Haley did ask her to, think about what she truly wanted. And she's like, if that's truly what you want, wait your decade, do your thing, girl. But if you don't, it's not going to matter. No one's going to be mad. But right now she doesn't want to think about it. So, will Haley have kids before they get married in this book? Another question we will see, because we know that they've talked about when she turns 18, and and Eric just says he wanted her to be 18. He didn't say he wanted to be married. So we'll have to see how that turns out in this book. But yeah, we do know that's a point of contention coming between the two of them. I think I've set that up fairly obviously that's coming. That conversation is coming between them. Possibly more than one conversation is coming between them. But yeah, because it's not something, because for the most part, we weren't admitting that we knew who the other person was. They didn't really talk about stuff like that. And our Eric knows a lot about the Hikura and fairies in this book. So he's at an advantage. Like he knows their languages. He knows a lot about them. He is friends with Bjorn. Dylan gives him access to partial fairies. So he does know a lot about fairies and about the Hikura. So he hasn't brought it up with her yet for a reason. So we'll have to see how all that goes down. So we will find answers to these things in our book, guys. So like, gosh, you guys make me want to give stuff away so badly. Because I'm like, ooh, can't say that yet. Can't say that yet. It's so hard. Because I know you guys will be as excited as I am about it. You just don't know yet. That's why it's hard to talk about the triplets books, guys. Well, I'm like, what can I say? Oh, we don't know that yet. Oh, we don't know that either. Like, we'll say the word character instead of the name of the character. It's so hard. I just want to tell you guys all the things that would ruin the book. Can't do that. But okay, we've got another minute before we end this live. I do want to say again, it is holiday in the U.S. on Sunday. I'm not sure if we'll do 2 lives this week or if this will be the live for the week. That's why I wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys just in case we didn't have one on Sunday. I'll see how the day goes. But just want to, how is Alpha Hammond and Raised Hero? We don't know yet. We shall find out. We don't know yet what he's doing. We know there were rogues at his border that were bad bushes, according to Haley. Bad bushes with red eyes. I was cracking myself up. But we don't know about him. We know he's being watched. So I had a question for Linda. I had a question, Linda. Okay, hit me, Levon. Ask the questions. Where's Ben Price and his family? So we know that Bjorn saved Ben and Alexa and brought them Emmeline with an E, her daughter, but we haven't heard where they are or where he took them. So are we going to see more of Phelan and her vampire kids in this book? We're going to see Phelan here in a little bit. Brianna and Ian, we'll see them at some point. I don't know if they'll be heavily featured, but we will see them. Levon, what are your questions? Real quick. I will stay and answer those. The OG Aiden also spoke about sharing his light with Lucinda. So do we think this reality Aiden will and Arian? We'll have to see what they do. The original, our original Aiden was intrigued by it. This Aiden has spent a lot more time with his Haley, so we'll have to see. That makes a difference, as well as Arian. Have we met Brianna's mate? Do I want to answer this question? Let me think about the answer to this question. Have we met him? Have we met him? I mean, we meet so many people. We talk about so many people. Meet. It's such a hard word to answer. Meet. That's meet. Have they spoken? Oh, that's a more specific question. Have they spoken? No. her mate has not spoken. Well, oh gosh, did he? He might have. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Did he? I don't know. He might have. Well, yeah. Okay. Must stop. Evasive fairy, as Dylan would say. Yes, must stop. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and end there on the pondering of what did or did not happen with Brianna's mate. Did he? Oh gosh, now I'm like really thinking about this. I'm like, did he? It is he. I'm assuming you're talking about our original reality Brianna that was just born. So that's the one I'm talking about. So, gosh, I don't think he has. I don't think he has talked. Eve. I don't know. I'll have to look. But yeah, our original reality Brianna, I guess I'm kind of giving it away that her mate is probably a different person in a couple realities because to me, we haven't cemented them yet because we haven't really talked about them. So in my head, she could have other people. Do vampires get second chance mates? Yes. If something happens to their first mate and they don't meet them, they could. But yeah, I don't think her mate has talked. I don't think he has. Maybe he has. I don't know. If he did, it was small. But I will let everybody go while I ponder if this has actually happened. Did he? I don't know. Maybe there's a possibility that he said something. Now that I think about it, he might have said something. I have to go back and read. Keep that question for the next live. I will try to find if I'm crazy or not, thinking that he might have said something. We'll see. You guys have a good weekend. I will talk to all of you later. Thanks for chatting with me. Bye, guys.